Okay, so this video basically just about this car, what I have planned for it, besides the obvious paint and reconditioning. This fast, easy EFI was recommended by my speed shop as a necessary evil. It's not easy to hook up. It's certainly not going to be easy to make it look pretty, and I think there'll still be some growing pains with it, but he said it's necessary because this ECU in 1987 couldn't control the changes of a modern intake and fuel needs. The MSD distributor is capable, but the fuel delivery, depending with all the different variables on the air that's going to pass through this, would choke it and make it run like garbage. So the plan is to add in some Vortec heads, change the intake manifold to a Scoggin-Dickey or Edelbrock high flow Vortec head TPI intake, fix up these runners or get bigger ones from Arizona Speed and Marine, port whatever I can on the plenum intake base and runners, depending on that with the throttle body. If I have to get a bigger one, so be it. But basically this car is going to look pretty much like this and hopefully run over 350 horsepower with close to 400 pounds of torque. With the Vortec head addition and intake manifold upgrade, it'll be cammed out, not too aggressive, because this requires 10 inches of vacuum. And it's like 8, 10, 12 is what they recommend. 10 is like possible, but a mild street cam with a Vortec allowance of, you know, maybe 0.5 lift is going to definitely increase some breathing. So once that's all done, figure out what else needs to be done. Pretty sure my 9-bolt Borg Warner, already inspected it. It actually has some cones left. I'd love to rebuild them. And thirdgen.org has been paramount in, can you see that? Paramount in where I figured out the information. I've already been in contact with the guys in Australia. So I might do fresh cones and spider gears, or I might do some sort of true track Eaton posi, or even I think Torsen has a helical that I can cram in here, a helical rear diff. That's big money, but I have the TA Performance cover on the back there, and the cones are good for now. It still does double strips on the rear wheels when I peel out, but with 350 and 400 foot torque, it might need more. But in that rear diff, if I can squeeze, right now I got the Borg Warner in 87 came with 3.27 gears. Upgrading or making it a little faster light to light to a 3.7 or even a 3.9 is what I'd like to do, and at the same time increase the tire diameter so it's not totally undrivable on the highway. But again, that's down the road. I still want to be able to do, you know, skateboard style 180s in the middle of the street. And then after that, stereo. Paint might come before that, because the paint is rough. Look at this. It is like brushed on, rolled on, I don't even know. There's not too many crazy blemishes, but it's got 108,000 miles on the body, so this was all rust I've already stripped because I didn't want it growing. But the T-tops are in good shape. The wheels are decent. The plastic, the lights and all that stuff, pretty unmolested. The rear hatch needs a lot of work. The glass actually has some wear marks on it from louvers. At some point there were louvers on this car. You can see the actual scratches in the glass, nice and dirty. And this side molding has to go. But Interior wasn't in bad shape. I had it detailed for the upholstery. Came with a factory CB radio. That's the shit. And then aftermarket radio. Everything with the transmission's pretty good. Did the normal service on it. Replaced the filter and fluid, and ran all the fluid out the converter and everything. And it wasn't even that bad, so that's in good shape. There's a little bit of a leak. It might just be the gasket from the pan, but I'll run it, check it. It's not dripping. There's nothing under there so far. Other than that, I mean, headers would be an if these don't fit, then they're getting replaced, and that'll be an experience, I think. Fuel pressure's good. AC I'm gonna keep. If it really gives me a headache, it'll go, but it'll hold a charge for about 2 weeks right now in the summertime, and I'm pretty sure it's leaking from the compressor. It's not too obvious, but I haven't been able to get a solid dye trace on it last year, so try it again this year. That's about it. So this is the video. If you want to leave some comments, you can, or questions if I didn't cover something interesting enough. This car has a lot of options, so I'll leave you with that, because the only reason I'm spending this much time on it, I was just beating on it for a year. But this car has a lot of options from 1987. There it is. This is what a lot of people ask for. If you can see that. I don't know what angle is going to be best, but you decide. You can pause it. Good engine, good rear end, good radio. Actually, you know what? It didn't have the Bose, but the previous owner had Bose material that I could keep and I might rewire, but then I got to add amps and stuff like that. So it had a decent stereo, but it had the power antenna, T-tops. T-tops with a V8 weren't available like later on forever. And then the spoiler with the brake light in it was also like a 1-year thing. Fog lights, I had those. Oh, they look so good. But then, you know, this K&N air filters and all the usual high school stuff. Cruise control, AC. Oh, it has like the better speedometer and tach too, but that's an opinion thing. Got the 140 speedometer, and a 5500 red line. Power windows, power trunk with a sucker. I love that CB, and yes, it works. I was so excited. No one's really gonna touch it, but it works, and I can be like Smokey and the Bandit. It had the whole exhaust is SLP. Oh shit! The whole exhaust is SLP. You can see it's still winter time here, so this is happening. It's just a matter of time. I still got snow. I still got lots of ice and salt. It's gonna happen. We'll get the motorcycle out, race the Iroc with my wife, and that's it. So leave comments or ask questions. I'll try to answer them. It's a work in progress, so don't tell me how ugly it is, because believe me, once I took off one wire loom, I was dreading ownership of this car. Taking the hood off was an experience, but I did it by myself, so I don't have any pointers on that. Alright, that's it. I got nothing else to say, but if there is something, let me know. I'll do my best to help, and good luck.